My soon-to-be glorious build right here needs some custom axle shafts. What are axle shafts? Axle shafts get the power to the wheels. Drive shafts get the power from the motor to, like, say, the back of the car. Axle shafts get it from the motor to the wheels or from the differential to the wheels. You might be wondering why you need custom axles. My build's gonna be a little bit different. I have a Porsche Cayman and I am going to make this electric. Not just electric, I'm gonna do dual motors. So I already have a motor in the front. There's gonna be a motor in the back. What I need to get a custom axle shaft that goes from a Tesla motor to a Porsche wheel. So having a different motor and then wheel hubs, that's one reason why you might need some custom axle shafts. Another reason is if you happen to be braking them. Maybe you've got a little higher horsepower application. That is another reason why you can get some custom axle shafts. And one of the last reasons is if you just need to lengthen or shorten because of the wheels or setup that you've got going on. If I'm releasing this video, it means that I've likely succeeded, so stay tuned to the end, see how it's done. For today's sponsor, we have FlexiSpot C7 office chair. Hey everyone, I want to take a quick second and show you what I got. This is a new ergonomic office chair, and can I tell you, it is amazing. So I would say one of the most important things to consider if you're spending a lot of time in a chair is it's got to be comfortable.
New chairs. These chairs are terrible.
Not much lumbar support.
You can imagine, I spend a lot of time just in this room doing a lot of video editing. So having a real good chair is really important. Let me show you one of my favorite features. So for comparison, I'm actually gonna show you what I have been using and the difference that this gives. So this one, believe it or not, I had an extra pad kind of for lumbar support. I have had multiple back surgeries and this is kind of very helpful. This has it built in. So this is one of my favorite features. Let me show you. So this has multiple settings to allow this to kind of come in and out to give you the optimal lumbar support. This just, oh yeah. I could just fall asleep. So it's really great for those that suffer with kind of some lower back pain. That makes it so much better. This actually has a part for your legs. Let me show you how that works. Voila! Got your own leg rest. To engage this, is pull it out. It's got a button right here. There's a lever right here that allows you to kind of slide forward, kind of like a car. You've got a lot of adjustments to give you the right amount of support. So this chair has an adjustable lumbar support, so it can move with you, or you can lock it in place. The armrest also can move up, forward, and swivel. The headrest moves up, and it also swivels. So as you can imagine, you spend a lot of time sitting in the chair. So even to put your feet up while you work, features that I would prioritize with an ergonomic chair would be, again, the lumbar support, and for me, the leg rest. Those are both just absolute musts if you're going with an ergonomic chair. Whenever I was looking for an office chair before, I think I would just kind of do a search, type in office chair, and then I'd just kind of buy one that looked good. I don't know that I ever really saw ergonomic office chairs.
Ergonomically correct?
Having this, it would definitely make me reconsider because you sit in your chair so much. Having kind of some of these key features would just make it that much better. So if you can spend just an extra 50, 100 bucks, it would definitely be worth it. So if you were like Pam from The Office and could really use a new chair, I'll leave a link in the description below. We're gonna break this into sections. So first I gotta find out if my Porsche here has drive teeth or splines in the front wheels. I have the front motor in position, meaning I don't know that there's a whole lot of other positions it could actually go. But I do wanna take out the center bolt there because I wanna see exactly where the shaft would line up. All right, I saw online that you can just put a large screwdriver in between your rotor slots and your caliper. So we're gonna try that. I ended up getting a torch kit. This one just comes with the connectors, case, torch. Does not come with gas. So I just went to a hardware store, 14 bucks each, oxygen and map. These backwards. It's like backwards. Blue is oxygen, that's why. So I've got a red line and a blue line. Apparently blue is oxygen. Guess I kind of just thought it would be red. And it's a left-handed thread. Just making myself a label. Future self will appreciate this so I don't spend 10 extra minutes or strip threads. People in the comment section can help me out. What I found works for me is I turn on just the gas, light it. So I get it till the flame's actually touching the torch, then I add a little oxygen. and then I'll add more gas. But listen to those people in the comments, they'll tell you the right way to do it. For me, every time I've had a stuck bolt, heat is the answer. Other thing to remember, don't touch it, it'll be hot. There we go. This is essentially the threads and the bolt that go from the other side of the wheel hub. And this is really just, I'll call it a cap. So what I wanted to see is if there's actually dry, I'll call them drive teeth or grooves. All right, so there are kind of teeth. And again, that would allow the wheel or any drive shaft to kind of actually spin the wheel. So I'll look for a part number and see if it actually is the same as any other part number on a Porsche, especially one that has drive to the front wheels. All right, I almost forgot, you gotta look through here, and that's where the shaft is, the motor shaft. So again, I think we're good. The placement's a little bit back so that the shaft will be coming up at a slight angle, but I think that's okay. And again, it seems to be pretty much in line. I can't really drop the motor any lower. This arm will actually go up once it's under load. But again, I think we've got room for that shaft there. Again, if this goes up, I think we're good there. I'm excited. So I've confirmed that the same knuckle is used on the Porsche 911 Turbo from the year like 2013 to 2019. And I've verified also that it's got the same wheel bearing. And then we can get some drive shafts made. All right, now that we've found out that there are indeed drive splines, the front wheels, it's time to make up our custom axle shaft. This may sound a little more challenging than it really is. Basically, all you have to do is get a Tesla axle shaft and a Porsche axle shaft, cut them in half, weld them together. Obviously, you have to check fitment. And then you send them over to Dutchman Axles, and they'll make you a brand new custom axle shaft. All right, that is the shaft output for the front motor. And here is the front hub. And basically what I need is I need to make axles that go from the motor, which is Tesla, to the hub, which is Porsche. All right, look what I got. So this is from a 2017 Porsche 911 Turbo. All right, we're gonna try it real quick, see if it fits. So yeah, that works great. That's insane. So in case you're wondering who the best is, EV Parts Guy is the best. They got me this front axle shaft from a Tesla Model S and just shipped it over. So if you ever need anything Tesla related, EV Parts Guy is your guy. Tell Peter I sent you. So essentially what I need is I need this to be from the Tesla. This one goes to the drive unit. And then essentially I need a splice and have that one go to the hub. So what the plan is essentially, it seems so wrong, but you have to cut them in half. There we go, man alive, look how thick that is.
That's what she said.
All this was done with a portable angle grinder. I do have an affiliate account, and so I'll leave a link in the description below. The Tesla motor has output shafts, and the actual shaft is equal on either side. However, the motor is not spaced equal, so they have this little shaft stump, I'll call it. And you'll see that it doesn't have a little groove here for this D-ring, and that's what kind of snaps it into place. This one is bolted into place in the motor, so that's why it doesn't need it. So there's a question if it actually has, I'll call it the groove, the retaining groove for both sides, or is it just the one? I got with my friend Peter at EV Parts Guy, and we confirmed that the snap ring indeed functions on both sides. So what I'm going to do is have this one on both sides. So I'm going to make two shafts that are pretty equal. There's that one. All right, so that one is in position, and you'll see we cut it off here. The other one is right here. I need to go ahead and tighten it so it's all the way seated. And then we weld these two together and send it off so they can make us a new shaft that's the right length. All right, so you can see there's that shaft from the Porsche, and right there's the shaft from the Tesla. So we need to weld them up. It's not quite as easy as just putting them together and weld. We need to make sure that we've got the right travel. So meaning right now, this is at its fullest extent, full droop. And we need to make sure that kind of left to right works, as well as kind of when it's more in its natural ride height, as well as all the way up. So we'll check all those out, make sure we've got it in the right spot, and then we'll weld. So these are the opposite ends of the shaft that I just chopped up, but I'm gonna show you real quick. There is a tripod end and a star end. And really one end allows like articulation, like steering. The other one allows kind of in and out motion. So this one allows in and out motion. So again, that helps like if the car is going up and down, it'll have a little more up. There's normal ride height, and when it goes down, so that gives it kind of that articulation. This one, again, it doesn't really give you any in and out, but it gives you, I'll call it like steering articulation. That's why we need to test it on our vehicle here before we just go weld it. I think I have them tacked, but I'm gonna take the clamps off and try and tack them a little better, and then we'll try steering and range of motion. You can see here we're at the front hub. This is on the driver's side, and you can see here, this is the shaft from the 911 Porsche. You can see right here, I've welded on just kind of a piece of angled steel to the Tesla shaft. See if you can see that, kind of, I guess. But back there, that's kind of the boot. So those two are now together, and now we're gonna put this through its paces, do steering full lock to lock, make sure nothing binds up. And right now we're at the lowest point, and then we'll do it kind of at right height, and then we'll do it at the top. Again, that's the steering rack. So I think we're looking pretty good. Now the challenge is to get the axle out. It's not just undoing that nut. You do have to do that, but you have to kind of take apart the suspension so that this whole front knuckle can kind of separate, because you're not able to just kind of push it that way because it's attached to the motor. So we'll go ahead and start disassembling the suspension. Man alive, that was stuck. right, so I got it out. I undid a lot of the suspension, probably more than I needed to, but so we'll go ahead and finish welding it up. I need to take off the CV joints and then ship it out. So I'm just trying to see how much travel this has, where the bump stop is. So there, that's gotta be the stop. So I'm gonna say 4 to 5 inches. All right, this will be the first time in a long time that the car has been under its own weight. It's 12 to 4. Again, it's got about a 4-inch travel. So yeah, that's about halfway through. All right, so here's the axle. Again, we got good clearance up here, which is good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it kind of lock to lock both ways, make sure that we don't get any binding. Looks like we're good. All right, now that we've got these welded up, we need to take off the CV joints. We need to get this rubber off and then disassemble so we can send it on its way. I've clamped my new axle assembly in my vise. Got the vise somewhat secure so it's not going anywhere. And then I've got this new tool that's going to hopefully help get the star bearing off. I think we got it. Yeah, it was all held on by this little retaining clip. Man, that took a ton of force. Yeah, see what it did to the clip there. Totally kind of sheared off some of the metal, so definitely need a clip. I'll inspect the splines, make sure that those are good. Otherwise, I don't know, might want to just get some new ones anyway. One of the things I've heard to clean up some of the grease and things is to use gasoline. So we'll give that a try, see how well it works. That looks pretty clean, but we'll clean up this other one that's got a lot worse. Okay, there's a note for myself, but also any of the viewers. This has got a little proud section right around the star, and this side's flat, or this one is not. So I don't know if you can see that, but this one's kind of cupped. This one's open, and then this one doesn't have that section either. So when I go to put it back together, I just need to make sure it's that way. One other trick I'll show you that I've learned for surface rust, so things like this where it's just got a little bit of surface rust on it, there's a quick fix to get that looking pretty good. It involves some aluminum foil and some vinegar. So just take a little bit of the aluminum foil, a little bit of the vinegar, just scrub it a little bit. So it's looking pretty good. Probably just attack the top here, some of the areas where that's still rusty, but again, that's looking pretty good. All right, this is about as good as I was able to get it, and I think that's good enough for me. Again, most of the rust is gone, and again, I think this technique only works with, I'll call it like the very shallow surface rust. Anything deeper, you probably need to do something else. There are all the pieces. I need to send off the tripod and the star along with the welded shaft, and I'll get some new ones made. All right, well, we got our axles back, newly made from our sample piece. The star and tripod that we sent. This is our welded piece that we sent. New axles. Look at that. Holy cow. These look so nice. I mean, just so nice. So this is the Porsche end, and then the Tesla end. Man, those just look amazing. Really good job. So thank you, Dutchman Axles. So these guys use a special steel and heat treating process. So these new axles are actually stronger than almost any other just OEM axle. So we're gonna have some pretty good luck with this. With that being said, we are trying something new that has never been done before. So there is some chance that these will have issues. And again, that is no fault of the Dutchman Axles. They've done a great job. We might be pushing things to the limit, but again, they've really come through. This looks amazing. Real quick, we're gonna do a test fit, make sure, I know they probably did this at their place, but I just wanna see what those look like on the new shaft. So that looks like a really great fit, like zero wobble, and perfect right here. So we can just put that retaining ring back on. That looks amazing. Yep, and then here's for the star end. Oh yeah, it's a nice fit, really easy. All right, so this little tool happened to work for me to separate the CV joint. I'll leave a link in the video description below. It's like they're new. So I found I can get a couple of these in, but then it seems to bind up, not allowing full range of motion. So I put on some grease. So yeah, got them all in. So we're just gonna go ahead and empty the rest of the tube in here. All right, I believe I've got everything assembled, all the things I need to make these shafts whole again. So I just got shafts and these back from powder coating. So I'll have to show you what those look like. But these are for the tripod for the Tesla. I've got boots and the boot clamps for that. You saw me, I just put in the stars with all that stuff. So those are ready, along with clips, new clips. I had to get some of these. I didn't have these, so I'll leave a link in the description if anybody's looking for some of these. All right, one of the things I didn't plan on is this diameter is smaller than the original Tesla. And so that means the boots that went with the Tesla don't quite fit with that. The other thing is the CV boots also are very unique. Like they've got kind of these three protruding areas kind of to match these grooves there. So it's not like you can just find a generic one and make it work. So I've been looking at some options, and here's my latest one. So this is a shaft collar. You can just basically put it on the shaft, tighten it down, it'll stick with the collar, and then hopefully we can just tighten one of these CV clamps onto the boot, onto this. I'm gonna put these on, and I'm gonna do both the set screw as well as I'm gonna use some epoxy to bond things on, kind of belt and suspenders. Again, these should not see that much force. It's really when the shaft extends or contracts It's really just the force of the rubber boot. So not a lot of force, at the same time we don't want this to go anywhere. You know how they say measure twice, cut once? So I measured that one twice and it is good. The other one I measured once and it is not good. So basically the boot has some play, or I should say the CV joint has some play. And so I wanted this ring right in the middle of the travel so the boot could be kind of in a neutral position in the middle of the travel. Well, the other one I put it on, which I thought was, I did a mark which I thought was called the front of the travel, when it was actually the back of the travel, so I put it on just, yeah, completely bad spot. So now I get to test the strength of my joint. Yeah, I call it a stupidity tax. I end up paying that tax a lot, and it either costs time or money or sometimes both. So this one, hopefully it's just some time. I got to pull this one apart. It'll also tell us how strong the joint is. All right, so I've just basically got, this was my removal fixture for one of the CV joints. And it's basically just got a little channel that you can bolt either side around. And that's going around the piece that I bonded in. And basically all I'm going to do is going to whack it with a mallet. Hopefully that gets it loose. We got it loose. That also shows that that is some good epoxy, so that's not going to go anywhere. Got that taken care of now, so we're going to go ahead and pack this one full of grease and get that strap on as well. I'm going to try and put on the Porsche CV joint. We got one done. So here's the final piece. We got the Tesla motor, and then back here, the Porsche hub. So we're going to go ahead and put the axle in. I've got the axle clip for that one. This one just needs to be pushed through and then use the bolt to kind of pull it tight. We'll reassemble things and then test the steering. All right, we are back assembled. Got bolts here on top. All the suspension bolts are back in place. So we're going to take a look at the new axle. right, so this is at full droop. We just want to make sure that we don't get any binding and that things can move freely on the steering column, and then we'll put it at right height and make sure the same thing. Once again, we got lots of room. Got lots of room all around the axle. This looks close, but you got a couple fingers, and again, this is at full droop. So we'll put the wheel on, kind of do the same thing at right height. Well, I know this probably doesn't look a whole lot different than when we started, but now we actually have axles joining the front wheels to the motor. That's bringing us one step closer to our goal. That is an amazing accomplishment. We are that much closer to the end. I know a lot of people have been wanting more Porsche content, so there you go. That'll do it for this time. See you next time.
Learn something new every day.
A lot of people have been wanting, let's see. I know that. Too much. I'm too strong. Oh.